first graders, how are you? Today is Friday, January 29th. I almost said February. Whew, it's almost February, but not quite yet. I hope we have a great day learning together today, but before we begin, let's check in with our zone. How are you feeling today? Rashid, how are you feeling today? You're in the green zone? Awesome. I'm in the green zone too. I'm ready to teach and ready to learn. Shall we get started? Friends, are you in the green zone? If not, make sure to do some of our calm down strategies to get yourself into the green zone. Let's do Fact Fun Friday. Take a look at our first fact. If I have 9 and I take 6 away, how many do we have left? The answer is, oh, I've gone many days without doing that, but not today. It is 3. So my whole is 9, and my 2 parts are 6 and 3. My 2 parts are 6 and 3. What's my whole, first graders? It's 9. Woohoo! Okay. Now I have 10 minus 3. What is 10 minus 3? Yes, it is 7. So my whole is 10, and I have my parts of 3 and 7. That's my fact, family. My parts are 7 and 3. So what's my whole? It's 10. 10 is the same as 7 plus 3. Nice job. Ooh, now, remember what we've been working on? Do you see a friend of 10? I see. Do you see it, Rashid? 7 and 3 make 10. And 10 plus 2 makes what? 12. So 12 is the same as 7 plus 3 plus 2. Today we are learning to solve word problems with 3 addends. So we're going from just looking at the equations to now we're going to get into situations, real life situations, where people are needing to put together 3 addends, and we're going to help them solve those problems. Let's warm up. 7 plus 6. Those numbers are next to each other on the number line. That means I can do a doubles plus 1. So I can do 6 plus 6 is 12, and 1 more is 13. Now I know with a 4, 7 and 3 is 10, and 1 more is 11. 8 and 2 more is 10, and 1 more is 11. Oh, next to each other on the number line. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 1 more is 11. Look at all those ways they made 11. That's great. Okay, let's look at our first story problem. We're going to read the problem 3 times. I know they've given us some stuff to work on, but that doesn't matter. So we're not going to solve right now. Your pen is down. You're just listening. So be focused in and listening. The first time I want you to try and figure out what's happening. We're not even going to talk about numbers. I just want to know what's going on with Bob. Bob has 5 books. Jill gives him 3 more books. Then he gets 4 more books. How many books does Bob have now? So what's happening? Yes, Pebble, Bob has some books and gets more books and then gets even more books. Let's read again and figure out the question we're trying to solve. Bob has 5 books. Jill gives him 3 more books. Then he gets 4 more books. How many books does Bob have now? What's our question? How many books does Bob have now? Okay, so knowing that that's our question, I'm going to read again. And I want you to figure out what information do we know to help us solve the problem. Bob has 5 books. Jill gives him 3 more books. Then he gets 4 more books. What information do we know? We know that Bob has 5 books. He's given 3 more books. And then he's given 4 more books. Let's look at how they wrote this. They wrote an equation. Their equation says 5 plus 3 plus 4 because 5, 3 more, 4 more. Okay, go ahead and solve this equation. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Okay, 5 plus 4 is what? Well, 4 plus 4 is 8, and 1 more is 9. Now we're going to have 9 plus 3. Well, I can take 1 from the 3 and make a 10 and have 2 left over. So I know it is 12. So 5 plus 3 plus 4 equals 12. There are 12 books. Great job. 8 children are on the bus. 2 more children get on. 9 children get on next. How many children are on the bus now? Okay. So they've done a bit of modeling for us. They've got the 8 children and then the 2 children. So we've got 8 plus 2 plus, how many get on next? 9. Well, 8 plus 2 makes, look, what did it make? Yes, Rashid, it made 10. And 10 plus 9, that's a teen number. What teen number does it make? 19. So 8 plus 2 plus 9 is 19. 19 children. Okay, the next one we're going to read and do a 3-read, and then you're going to do it all by yourself and see the answer you get. You're welcome to use a model. And in fact, I'm going to tell you I want to see some kind of model, whether you're drawing and using counters in a tens frame, or you're using number bonds, whatever it is you're using as your model. Amara paints 8 toy cars. Okay. Chin paints 5 toy cars. Then they paint 1 more toy car. How many toy cars do they paint in all? So what's happening? These 2 people, I'm guessing they're friends because they're painting toy cars together. They are painting toy cars. Let's read again and find the question. Amara paints 8 toy cars. Chin paints 5 toy cars. Then they paint 1 more toy car. How many toy cars do they paint in all? What's our question? How many toy cars do they paint in all? So we're trying to figure out how many cars they paint all together. Okay, now let's read one more time and find the information we can use to help us solve. Amara paints 8 toy cars. Chin paints 5 toy cars. Then they paint 1 more toy car. What information do we have that we can use to solve this problem? Yeah, Amara is painting 8 toy cars. Chin has 5 toy cars, and then together they paint 1 more toy car. Go ahead and solve. I'm going to do it on my whiteboard. You're going to do it on your whiteboard. And then when 2 minutes is up, we'll show each other our work. Are you ready? Begin. All right, friends, let's take a look at the way I solved it and compare how you solved it. What I did was Amara had 8 in my tens frame. And then I did Chin's 5 cars, and I started here to fill up my tens frame. So 2 went to the tens frame, and then 3 more, and then 1 were both of them. And then I saw that I didn't have 8 plus 5 plus 1 anymore. I had 10 plus 4. So what I did was 8 plus 5 was 13, and 1 more made 14. So I knew there were 14 toy cars. Is that how you solved it? Yes, Mr. Kevin?
You know, just an observation, Mrs. Wally. They're painting a lot of toy cars. I kind of wonder if they work at the North Pole.
Maybe. Or maybe they have a toy store.
Or maybe they have a toy store.
They could do lots of things, couldn't they? All right. Here's what I would like you to do. I'd like you to solve this last problem. The problem is 3 plus 8 plus 7. You can go ahead and show them the slide, Mr. Kevin. I want you to show a model, and I want you to find an answer. Go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Solve. Okay, Mr. Kevin, go ahead and show my whiteboard. I noticed that here, 8 and 7, that's a doubles plus 1. So I did my doubles plus 1, which was 7 plus 7 plus 1. 7 plus 7 is 14, and 1 more is 15. And then I added my extra 3, and I got 18. So my answer was 18. Tell me your strategy. How did you get the answer of 18? Oh, I saw someone said they did this. They used a drawing to help them. That's a great strategy to use a drawing. And they noticed the doubles. Oh, you didn't notice the double. You made a 10 and some more. You said there's 8. And you knew you needed 10. And in 7, you knew 7 is made of 5 and 2. So you did 2 from the 7 and then the 5 down below. So then you had 15. And then you added 3 more. And 15 plus 3 is 18. What a great strategy. See how you can use different strategies, different people's brains, use different strategies to find efficient and accurate ways to find answers. Let's take a look at your assignment today. You're going to do page 313 and 314 in your workbook. Practicing more of finding doubles, doubles plus ones, and friends of 10 to help you solve adding 3-digit numbers together. Today we learned to solve word problems with 3 addends. We made models, we identified strategies to use for the 2 addends, and then we added a 3rd addend and we found the solution. Great job today, first graders. Before you go on your break, you need to make sure that you grab your materials for your time with Miss Oslin. You will need your ELA packet, your pencil, and your learning buddy. Before you go though, Mr. Kevin's going to tell you how you can send us things or contact us here at the TV classroom.
Friends, you can contact us at the TV classroom by emailing. So find a parent or an adult to help you. Email tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can send it the old-fashioned way in a mail envelope, and you can send it to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
I hope, first graders, that you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful time learning with Miss Oslin, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chick Street Man, and I'm a musical ambassador for peace and human rights. And the Northwest Sinfonietta asked me to show you a little bit of what it is that I go through to warm up in the morning or before I go on stage later in the evening. So this is a little fun thing that we can do, because sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're feeling good, but things tend to happen. Maybe it's raining and maybe there's no food in the refrigerator, or maybe your mom or your brother or your sister or your teacher or a good friend says something to you that tends to want to bring you down, but you don't have to go down. You can keep yourself feeling up by saying a little something to yourself that goes like, I feel so good. Say, I feel so good. I feel so good. And then you get a little rhythm into it, okay? So you say, I feel so good. Well, I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so good. When your mind is happy, so is your body. When your mind is happy, so is your body. I feel so good. I feel so good. And then once you're feeling good, then you want to share it with everybody else around you. But before we even do that, and you're going to share it with anybody else, it's important to warm your voice up a little bit. So I have a little technique that I use to warm my voice up that goes like this. You say, you just close your mouth, and one time you say, So I want to teach you how to do it. All you got to do is just close your mouth, and one time, very gently say, Right? When you say, you do it 2 times, you say, I guess that was 4 times, okay? But you put a little rhythm into it. It goes like this. So then later on in the evening, when you're hungry and you're back home and there's no food on the table, you can say, where the dinner, mama? Where the dinner, daddy? Just don't tell him I taught you how to do that, okay? So this is all about relaxing and enjoying, feeling yourself relax in your body. Thank you. You know, sometimes you may be feeling up and sometimes you may be feeling down. But I believe there's always gonna be some love coming around. People, you say you believe in rhyme and dancing away the time. But when you hear the music calling, you keep on stalling, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Now when you get that feeling, let me tell you what love can do. It'll swell up in your body, then slip on away from you. So when you feel the river rising, your soul capsizing, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Believing you just can't keeping on. It's gonna make you a little bit wary, whether you're right or wrong. But like a vine inclined to keep on clanging and to keep on swinging, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, high, high. Rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. And if the fire's got you burning, ain't no returning, you got to let go. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, rhythm low. Rhythm high, high, high. Rhythm low. Got to keep on moving. Rhythm high, rhythm low.
Hi, first graders, welcome back from your break. Excellent job gathering your materials and being all ready to go to continue our study of fiction. You'll remember that fiction are stories that are made up from our author and illustrator's imagination. And today you are going to start your own fiction story. Now, let's remind ourselves what your job is when we come together today and every day. Your job is to listen, share, read, and write. You are a strong listener when you keep your eyes on the speaker, when you listen to the speaker, and when you think about the words or ideas that we're going to be talking about. You are strong at sharing when you do share your ideas, when you talk about the book, and if you have someone in the room with you who's also going to be sharing, are going to be able to practice your active listening skills because you'll probably learn something or think of an idea from what your partner says. Now, you have been working really hard on all of your phonics professor words to be strong writers. Keep these in mind today as you begin your own writing of fiction. Today we are learning fiction writers transport their readers to interesting places using special details and descriptions. What this means is writers of fiction create settings, which is place and time, that you and I, as readers of fiction, feel like we're actually there and then, because they use such strong details in the picture and the words when they are describing the setting. And we're going to look at an example today in You Can Do It, Sam. This is a book that we've already read, and we're going to pay really close attention to the words that Amy Hest uses to tell us about the setting, the where and when. And we're going to pay really close attention to what Anita Jerem, the illustrator, adds to the pictures. Now, you'll remember this book is about our character Sam, who is working with his mother to bake treats and then deliver them to their neighbors. Now, look at that front cover. Can you tell the setting, which means where is Sam, but also when is Sam? When in the year is this story taking place? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy where and when Sam is on the front cover. Rashid, our illustrator, Anita, included snow on the ground and in the air and on the trees, which makes me think it's winter. And it's kind of dark outside, so it looks like it might be night or maybe evening, because I know in the winter it gets dark early and we see the moon out earlier, so it could be evening. Now, let's read the first page to learn more about how our author and illustrator include details so that you and I actually feel like we're there with our characters. It happened one winter morning on Plum Street, and the moon was still up, making moonbeams and shadows on Plum Street. Now, let's notice. Look at that picture. And then I want you to close your eyes and visualize you being there. Now, of course, if closing your eyes doesn't feel comfortable, you can just leave them open, but do pay attention to what's happening in your brain. Visualize yourself being there with Sam. What did you picture? Did you picture the snow on the ground? Did you picture the moon in the sky? I even felt myself get a little bit cold thinking about being outside in the snow. Now, those were clues that our illustrator gave us. Let's reread and think about what are the details and descriptions that our author included. It happened one winter morning on Plum Street. Now, Amy is confirming what I predicted, that it happened in winter, because she tells me it happened one winter morning. But she says it's morning. I predicted that it would be in the evening, but it's actually in the morning. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's winter now. And when I left my house this morning, it was dark and I could still see the moon. So that would make sense that it could be morning as well. It happened one winter morning on Plum Street. What's the name of the street? Plum Street. That's a very specific detail. This world that our author and illustrator have created with their imagination, there's a street called Plum Street. And the moon was still up, making moonbeams and shadows on Plum Street. So now I'm noticing the details in the illustration of the shadows that I hadn't noticed before. But the author included descriptive language describing the shadows, so it called my attention to that part in the illustration. Now, let's keep reading, noticing how our author and illustrator make sure that you and I know as readers where and when their story is taking place. They're using really specific language. In the little white house, Mrs. Bear and Sam were baking cakes. They stirred with big spoons, swirling and tasting batter. They peeked in the oven at 2 rows of cakes, golden brown cakes for their friends on Plum Street. Now on these 2 pages, Amy, our author, really wants us to concentrate on the view in the kitchen where Mrs. Bear and Sam are baking their gifts. Notice the colors in the background. Do you notice? Now, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, go ahead and do so. If you're not comfortable, just leave your eyes open and visualize being there in the kitchen with Sam and Mrs. Bear. Include the colors and think about how it might feel to be there with them. Now, this actually, the descriptions in the words and the colors of the background, they're kind of a golden. And then I just was thinking about being in my kitchen and when I cook and how it must feel really warm. And that made me think about that feeling that Mrs. Wally has taught us about being content, which is I'm here, I'm good, I'm calm. I really felt that. And I actually I exhaled and I felt my shoulders relax. Our author and illustrator really have created this world in their imagination, and they created such colorful pictures and such descriptive words. And I really felt like I was there in the kitchen with Sam and Mrs. Bear. Now, you and I get to practice this skill as authors and illustrators. So I want you to have your learning notebook. You're going to open it to the next clean page. Have your crayons and your pencil ready. Go ahead and do that. And I always like to, before I start writing, excuse me, Gus, I always like to start with my date and my name at the top so that when I send this to my teacher or you send it to me, we know who it's from. So go ahead and do that. Now, as we practice this skill of drawing our setting, we're going to practice it with something that's really familiar to us. And then for your independent work, you're going to do this again with your own imaginative setting that goes with your fiction story. So today we're going to practice drawing our TV classroom. This is something that we see every day. We're going to want to make sure that we include a lot of detail and color so that when our reader reads our writing, they feel like they're here in the TV classroom. So think about what you see in our TV classroom and think about, what do we really want to make sure we include? Take some think time. Now turn and tell your learning buddy what you think we need to be really, really sure that we include in our setting of our TV classroom. Rashid, I think it's important that we include the desk. It's really important that we include all of our learning buddies and our teacher, and looking at our background. I think that's really important too. We're going to want to make sure that we include like the color that comes through the window there, and our photos of our heroes, and again, the color of our learning buddies. Now, what I would like you to do in your learning notebook is draw the setting of our TV classroom. Make sure you include all the things that you think are really important so that when your reader reads your writing, they can feel like they're sitting here in our TV classroom. Okay, what do I want to start with? Start with the flag. Bookshelf. The bookshelf has a plant on it. And then of course it has books. Then we have our table. Ponytail. Today I'm wearing my glasses. And then of course all of our learning buddies. Rashid. Gus. Gus. Mabel. And then Rafa, will put you on this side. With your wings. And then, oh yeah, the window is really important too. Start adding some color. How's your drawing going? Good. Rashid. Gus should be green. Mabel's gonna be gray. Rafa, your body is gray. Your head's a little darker. Color is really important, like we learned in You Can Do It, Sam, where the color in the kitchen was like a golden, glowing color, and it really made us feel warm and content. It also helps our reader really visualize the setting. Best red. Here we go. A little too pink. There we go. Which blue? Just regular blue? Yeah. See, now it's really clear that that's the American flag because I added that color. Let's see, maybe I'll color my hair. It's kind of brown. And then my shirt today is black and white with some gray and then a red sweater. Collar. Red sweater. Oh, the table is black, isn't it? We have that cloth there. And then this is brown. Let's see, this is brown too. We have our green plant. Actually, here, I'm gonna add like there's words on the book. Book is green on top, brown on the bottom. That chair's brown with like this color and some orange. Oh, that pillow has really bright orange flowers, so I want to include that. And then it's white, mostly, the background. Here. Can you tell where this is? Yeah, our TV classroom. Now, hopefully, our reader can look at our drawing and tell exactly where it is, and they can close their eyes and visualize being here with me in our TV classroom. Notice that I'm putting my materials away when I'm done. Hopefully you're in the habit of doing that too at home or at daycare, wherever you are, so that you can keep them organized. Now, today we learned that fiction writers transport or move their readers to interesting places using specific details and descriptions. And you are going to do that today for your independent writing. I want you to think about what is the setting of your fiction story that you're going to write? What are you creating? Think about how you will draw and write it. And as always, try your best. And I want you to do this writing on page 22, this graphic organizer, My Story Setting, that is in your ELA packet. You're going to think about where your story takes place and think about when your story takes place. Now, we didn't really practice that in our drawing of our TV classroom, but we did look at You Can Do It, Sam, and thought about how our author and illustrator really show us and tell us when the story is taking place. Think about the setting items, what is important to include, and what are the details and descriptions that you're going to include. And then in that box where it says page 22, so you know what page it's on, but on your copy, that won't be there. In that box, you're going to draw your setting. And then when this is all done, you can send it to your teacher, or you could send it to us here at TV Classroom. Mr. Kevin, can you tell us where students should send their setting?
Sure, Miss Oslin. You can email it to tvclassroom@tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can mail it in snail mail to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. When you are doing your independent reading today, notice what your author and illustrator has done to make you really feel like you're there in the book, in their setting. What colors did they include? What details in the pictures and the words? Also, practice reading your word wall and tracking your reading goals. And that is also something that you can send to your teacher. Today is Friday. They would love to know what you've been working on as a reader this week. Now is time for our affirmation. And as you are going off to create a world in your mind as a writer of fiction, I want to remind you of how creative you are. So as you're doing your writing, you can tell yourself, I am creative. Practice saying that with me right now. I am creative. Excellent job, first graders. I hope you have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.